Previously, in the land of the wolf, I saw our beaver neighbors foil the plans of White Paws and Hiawatha, the breeding pair of the new manatee pack. A family of sandhill cranes shared the bluebirds' territory, and a pair of killdeer nesting in the dead-end clearing got used to the comings and goings of the wolves, whose scent markings kept at bay other predators. Nature offers us so many avenues that we lack time to explore all the possibilities. The plantation region catches our attention, as so far it is the best place to observe the manatees. These days, my parents and I often keep watch near a busy body of water. The golden-eyed ducklings are already hatched. The masters of the marsh, a pair of eastern kingbirds whose female is hurrying to finish the nest. The male does not take part in the work. These birds are known for their legendary aggressiveness in which they defend their nesting site. Other inhabitants of the marsh, such as the common grackle and the common golden eyes, have no complaints about their neighbors, at least for now. At the rate the female is working, the nest will be soon completed. An abandoned logging road runs along both sides of the marsh. From the top of his favorite perch, the male eastern kingbird regularly sees White Paws or the other members of the manatee pack. Several birds also nest in the surroundings, such as the common yellowthroat and the swamp sparrow. I have a soft spot for tree swallows. The cedar waxwing, a posh member of the avian aristocracy. Its behaviors are particularly interesting during mating season. The male and female collaborate in building the nest and exchange gifts to seal their union. Strangely, the eastern kingbirds tolerate the amorous waxwings. We never thought we would film the two species together, so close to the nest of the formidable kingbirds. Nature never ceases to amaze us. A few kilometers from the eastern kingbirds' marsh, an encounter between the sandhill cranes and a large black bear casts doubt on which species this time will take precedence over the other. The challenge is to travel in peace on the plantation's path. The detour attempted by the bear only increases the crane parents' distrust. Finally, the bear changes direction to avoid being attacked by the birds. It was much quieter in the dead-end clearing. We could observe wildlife for hours in this timeless space where a comforting peace reigned, especially in the evening when the hermit thrushes began to sing. Unless a wolf approached their nest, the killdeer no longer raised the alarm. The success of their nesting was far from guaranteed. Every time we headed towards our lookout post, we wondered if the eggs would still be there. We barely dared to imagine what would happen when the chicks started running around. But we were saying to ourselves that sometimes life, or instinct, does things well. This was the case for the sandhill crane family, who had the good idea to leave the bluebirds' plantation just before the manatus adopted it for their move. Hiawatha is hunting. even with the help of his son Lewis. Bringing down this moose would be difficult. Hiawatha will search for a less dangerous prey. Bluebirds are impartial witnesses to the complex relationships that link large herbivores and wolves. A few hours later, in the dead-end clearing, Hiawatha and White Paws arrive at the same time. The alpha male seems exhausted. His stomach is full of food he will regurgitate for the pups once back to the den after a well-deserved rest. We hoped White Paws would join him in order to observe their reunion. But in the eyes of White Paws, some moments are too intimate to be shared. While Hiawatha snoozes, Lewis stands guard at the eastern Kingbirds' marsh. One of the beavers has been captured by the pack leader, and the young wolf's mission is to protect the remains from looters. The predation that occurred at the end of the afternoon disrupted the calm of the place. The fact Lewis stays put worries especially the mother common golden eye, who will have to be patient, because the guardian will be present until Hiawatha returns. Lewis shows self-sacrifice and discipline by resisting the urge to disobey and grab a bite. The birds resume their normal activities, while the bereaved beavers confine themselves to their lodge. In the dead-end clearing, Hiawatha has not forgotten his duties as a father. Despite his fatigue, he must go to distribute the fruit of his hunt to the pups waiting for him at the den. Far from the family festivities marking nightfall, Lewis only sleeps with one eye open. Before entrusting custody of his prey to Lewis, Hiawatha had undoubtedly covered the remains with earth, branches, or moss to limit the spread of attractive odors. He then urinated on the site as a warning. With such precautions, even the most cunning fox would never have access to the pack leader's prey. But what would the young guardian do if, during the night, a black bear happened to pass by accident near the eastern Kingbirds marsh? He would warn his parents. A worried wolf barks to signal danger to members of its family or to try to intimidate an undesirable one. This behavior is actually very similar to that of most dogs, except Lewis did not need to be trained as a guardian. He knew instinctively that barking frightens the bears, who do not want to see the whole pack show up. That night, Hiawatha certainly returned to fill his belly, and Lewis was allowed to eat the last remains of the beaver. We have few images of the caches and carcasses belonging to the wolves, because they could have taken offense at our intrusion near them. We did not want to risk endangering our good relationship with the manatus just to show bloodied prey, or other sensationalist scenes that too many wildlife documentary makers like to broadcast. Our relationship with the wolves was based on trust, because it was the only way to observe White Paw's family in the long term. When we were not keeping watch in the plantation region, great wildlife sightings awaited us at base camp. Each year, a small animal became our mascot. There had been a hare, few chipmunks, and a red squirrel, but in 2010, we awarded the title of mascot to a beautiful, big woodchuck we named Gisèle. It was so adorable. By studying Gisèle's behavior, we realized that it often changed shelters, a clear sign it was looking to settle down. This wandering woodchuck liked to move around on the rocks along the lake. Sometimes Gisèle ventured up into the Chubbys Bay. That spring, our beaver neighbors also had a mascot. For the past week, the Chubbys Lodge has been the scene of the performances of an American bittern. The rodents don't care much about him. They pay attention to the bird only when they have to reach the top of their lodge. His presence arouses in the patriarch nothing more than a movement of impatience. Chubbys' territory goes well beyond the limits of the bay, just like that of their mascot. In fact, we often see the bird near the small river where the lake flows. This is where the beavers maintain the dam which keeps the waters of the lake at a stable level. This other platform is ideal for a single bittern wanting to attract a female. The Chubbys and their mascot spend a lot of time together. I think rodents appreciate birds for their vigilance. They work with peace of mind as long as the bittern remains on the lookout. In addition to the bittern, the common yellowthroat and the yellow warbler can also detect danger. If the singing of the bird stops, beware of the wolf. It was always exciting to encounter a wolf, a bear, or a moose outside of the passive lookout context we were doing from the vehicle. As much as possible, we avoided walking in clearings and wolf trails, because even if White Paws was quite tolerant, we didn't know how Hiawatha might react. My father Reynold loves wildflowers, especially orchids. If he spots a rare plant, nothing can stop him from going to film it. Pink lady slippers have colonized the plantations crisscrossed by the manatis, and among them some white or beige specimens are flourishing. The filmmaker is ecstatic at the idea of immortalizing these beauties. I leave him be with his treasures. Based on the direction his camera lens is pointing, I am guessing he is no longer filming flowers. Hiawatha and White Paws are passing through, unaware that my father is in the plantation. The wolves sniffed out and located Reynold. Luckily, Hiawatha shows as much confidence as White Paws. they simply continue on their way. Admiring the wolves in the jack pine plantation dotted with flowering bushes is a magnificent sight. The flowering of Labrador teas moves the land of the wolf slowly toward summer. Life has returned to normal in the eastern Kingbirds Marsh. Brooding, carried out solely by the female, has just begun. I have always been amazed by the way each species organizes its life according to the cycle of the seasons. I do not use the verb organize lightly. Yes, of course, instinct dictates the broad outlines, such as the need to reproduce and defend a territory, but we often forget that to respond to the dictates of instinct, an animal must manage its time, make choices, and plan daily activities using all the intelligence evolution has given it. In the next episode, we will witness some very revealing behaviors on this fascinating subject. Hiawatha will have to show authority to correct Lewis' impertinence. Encounters between wolves and other species will create tense situations. Around Chubbys Bay, summer will attract characters that will not go unnoticed. A rendezvous not to be missed in the land of the wolf.
Mahingan we hi hi yo hi 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 hi